This was around 4 years back. We were looking at how to delegate things to a team, how to make systems and processes in place. I've been trying for quite some time, but I was struggling of getting it through. So during one such program, when we had enrolled, I interacted with Mr. Pandita. My whole idea was in this particular program was to empower the team to take decisions, to take ownership of the activities they are doing, rather than depending upon the bosses or the top management for small things. The key thing was, since then I have made it a point for myself that I will not get actively involved in day-to-day operations, give empowerment to my team, and I have defined my role to be as a trainer, as a coach and as an enabler.
2 साल में हमारा टर्नओवर काफ़ी ग्रो किया बिकॉज ऑफ द क्लियर रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड ऑल. हम आज से 2 साल पहले 35 करोड़ पे थे. दिस ईयर वी हैव अचीव 64 करोड़ एंड वी आर टारगेटिंग करंट ईयर 75 करोड़. सो दैट इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ द क्लियरिटी ऑफ द फंक्शनलिटी एंड एजुकेशन एंड लीडरशिप लेसन्स गिवन बाय मिस्टर पंडित.
Hello everyone, welcome to another session of MSMEX Talk to an Expert. Today we are going to cover a very important topic which is for small, medium enterprises in terms of how do they manage their people. When we talk about small, medium businesses, we feel that most of the owners are not working like true professional CEOs. They are not having second line in command, they don't delegate enough things to the people. For example, as an owner, are you still involved in day-to-day activities? Do you still feel that you need to be involved in printing decision, in payment of your bills, in terms of any small level hirings? If yes, then obviously you are doing the same things that you were doing when you started as an entrepreneur. If you continue to do the same things and expect different results, it possibly is not going to happen. So what brought you here is not going to take where you would like to be. So that is why we are going to focus on this very important topic today. And with us we have Mr. Vinod Pandita. Vinod is a master trainer, he is a leadership coach and a turnaround strategist. Vinod has more than 20 years experience and he has worked in India, Middle East and North America. So Vinod has personally consulted more than 100 organizations, owners in his lifetime so far, and he has been responsible for turnaround of majority of these businesses. So without much ado, let me welcome Vinod once again.
Thank
Vinod,
you.
Welcome
Thank you,
to
Arun.
today's session.
Thank you, Arun.
So Vinod, welcome again to the show. You have consulted more than 100 entrepreneurs personally, and what are the key things that you find with respect to leadership, delegation? What are the key challenges these small medium enterprises face, which they from your experience, if you can highlight some of those things?
Yeah, Arun, I think the entrepreneurs have this habit of not trusting their people. This is the major challenge of most of the entrepreneurs. So empowering people, empowering teams, giving them responsibilities, clearly defining the roles, responsibilities, authorities and accountabilities is a major issue with most of the entrepreneurs. And I have seen that whenever they have to delegate something, they restrict themselves. They don't really give away everything to them because they are not confident that whether the teams can really perform, especially in micro, small and medium enterprises. Now these entrepreneurs, I always tell them that you have to develop people. I mean to say, when we talk about developing people, it is basically educating them. When I say educating them, is a process. Now when we say educating an employee or the team members, you have to go through a certain series of education of these teams, and then empowering them along the side, and then finally ensuring that whatever you want to enforce in the organization, these people will be really ready to enforce. The major challenge of the entrepreneurs is that the retention of people, because they don't want to educate them, because they always believe that people will leave, and they will leave with the intellectual property, they will leave with the entire thing. But I think in today's time, it's a myth. I think entrepreneurs have to really trust their people. They have to develop them, they have to educate them, they have to empower them, they have to build systems around people involvement, and that is how they can really take best out of the teams, in the organization.
So Vinod, now that we have identified that delegation is a very key part of an entrepreneurial journey and people need to develop this second in command. So number one, how should the owners go about finding who those right people are whom they can delegate? And number two, how can they empower them more so that they can deliver more effectively?
All right, I see the most important thing is the HR hiring. When we say onboarding of people has to be a strategic decision. You cannot hire people just like that because you need somebody to fill in. You cannot hire people just like that. It has to be a strategic decision by the SME. When I say strategic decision, you have to have a plan for hiring. You have to define the job responsibilities beforehand so that you know exactly whom you are going to hire. Once you hire the right people through this process, which is a strategic process, then you have to really work on a model. I call this as a 3E model. Now, when I say 3E model, it is like a pyramid. When we say pyramid, the bottom of the pyramid is education. The second level of pyramid is empowerment, and the tip of the iceberg, which is the top of the pyramid, I call this as the enforcement. So when I say that you have to, first of all, educate people, and then you have to empower them through certain recognition and performance management system, and then finally you can enforce anything with them or through them in the organization. But typically, I have seen in my last 20 years of experience that this pyramid is reverse in the industry today, because they want to enforce everything in the beginning itself. They want people to really listen to them. They want them to really follow what the management is saying. So it doesn't work. There is a sense of belongingness which doesn't come. So when this pyramid is reversed, so what happens is they first of all they ask people to enforce certain things, and then they sometimes empower them, which is not a very consistent approach. And finally, they may or they may not educate them. So, for example, the induction, at the time of the onboarding of people, whether it is a small position, say for example, is a data operator, for example. Now, data operator, the day he's joining an organization, he just comes and sits on the computer and starts working. He is not given any induction training. So what we have in mid-sized corporates and large corporates, we have a certain system. These SMEs also have to learn a science of onboarding people. Once they understand the science of onboarding people, and if they don't know, they can hire an expert, a very short engagement, and take the tips from the expert and how to onboard people, put them inside the system, induct them properly, and then train them before they really get onto the work. And then most importantly, at the end, the final journey of engaging those people, involving those people will come in only when these people are continuously talked to. There are certain engagement models which are designed around the system, so that the people engagement is the most, so that we can get maximum productivity of these people. So I think it is very important for an entrepreneur to really look at how to develop teams, how to empower them, and before doing anything else, just to educate them on the policies, on the processes, on the systems, on everything, the organization. It is basically, I call this as sharing a vision with your team. The moment you share vision with your team, whether it is profit and loss statement or a balance sheet or anything for that matter, your future vision of the organization, your goals, so there is a sense of belongingness of these teams. And once you do it, I can say that you can really take best out of the teams you are going to have.
So Vinod, that was really helpful. I'm sure what you spoke about in terms of empowering people, engaging, and also educating them before once they join the organization. That is something which most of the entrepreneurs should be doing. Can you share with us some of the real life examples where you worked with some of these owners and how they have transformed their business after your engagement?
Yeah, see, there's a client of ours, in the name of Lube Oil in Manesar. Lube Oil is a very successful tier 1 manufacturing company. Tier 1 means they are directly supplying to large OEMs. Now, when the directors, there are two partners, when they approached me and we met, in an event, and the same day of the event, they said, Vinod, why don't you just come to our factory? I said, I'll come, but I would like to meet your team. I don't want to meet you because I've met you and we have discussed many things, over the lunch. So what happened? So when I went there, so I asked them to really bring all the team members, and the first instance of my joining that organization or visiting that organization was to meet their team. I realized that the team was very energetic. They were young, average 35 to 40 years of age bracket they were there. So I told these people, both the gentlemen, both the directors, that I think congratulations, you have got a wonderful team. So they were a little surprised and taken aback by my saying that you have not even spent 5 minutes in our organization. How can you say that? I said, that is how you have to start believing in your people, because I can see everyone has a potential to really unleash their leadership qualities. Now, if they are not worked upon, if they are not talked to, they will be silent because they are waiting for their salaries at the end of the month. They will not do anything what you expect because you don't know what you want from them. So I told them, that very moment, a thought came in their mind that, can you just help us in building leadership qualities in our people? So that was the beginning of my engagement with them. And what I did, I told them that, give me your second line of command and let them report to me indirectly with dotted lines in the organization structure. And I forced them to put me in the organization structure. And they put me in the organization structure as the CEO of the company, the short-term CEO of the company. And what I did, I actually took them through 3 months of rigor on leadership qualities, that what leadership qualities are all about. So I just empowered them, motivated them, inspired them, that whatever they're doing the best. Because I believe in one very important thing in my professional career, that nobody is incompetent. Nobody is incompetent in this world. It is only that we don't know how to take the best out of the people. That is the tragedy of people management. Now, the moment you believe in a person and you think that, okay, this man is going to be my second line of command and he is going to be my foot soldier, he is going to be my commander to command certain process, I can tell you that person will prove his worth in no time, because that person has got a potential. Now, there are certain people who are not competent in certain ways, but then that is the skill of the entrepreneur, to identify what are his strengths and then work on the strengths rather than work on the threats and opportunities and the weaknesses of the person. Because I always say that the entrepreneur should work on his strengths and delegate weaknesses. The moment he delegates weaknesses, then he will get the best person who will be there, who has the strength for doing that which he is not able to do. The problem with entrepreneurs, most of the entrepreneurs, is that they always focus on their weaknesses, try to do everything themselves. So that is not something which I recommend. I recommend that they should work on their strengths and have their core competence with them, and then delegate their weaknesses to the teams. And that organization today, in 2 years' time, has doubled their revenues, doubled their profits, and their cash flow is very good, because in these 2 years, that organization with the same team really has created another organization, another factory within no time. And they have got a phenomenal orders from US, only because what they did, they turned 1 or 2 guys in quality production and maintenance. They gave them promotion, incentivized them, and made them a real second line of command in the organization, and that transformed the organization upside down.
So Vinod, that was a great example of how Lube Oil owners, empowered their second line in command and how it has given them great results. In fact, their turnover, as per you, has doubled in the last 2 years, right?
Absolutely.
But in our experience, not many of these owners are willing to delegate or empower their teams. So maybe they associate certain risks in terms of empowering their second in command. So what are some of those risks? What happens if they empower and things don't go well? So what could be the outcome of such, process?
Yeah, I think it's a very valid question. Most of the entrepreneurs have this issue, with the organization. So I would say what happens is that we call something called stakeholding. If the employees and the teams don't have a stake in the organization, normally an entrepreneur doesn't allow them to take the stakeholding in the organization. Now, when I say stakeholding is primarily that the person or the teams, say for example the HODs or the departmental heads or process leaders, they are not given freedom to really experience their own performance. Their performance is hijacked. When I say performance is hijacked, it is basically because they have a fear that probably this gentleman who is going to be having a stakeholding in the organization, in my organization, is going to talk to, if he leaves my organization, quits at any point of time, he can go to the competitor and probably he can take away my trade secrets. But I tell these people, all the entrepreneurs, that you have to ensure stakeholding. That person, because I have got many examples in my case studies and in my experience, that a gentleman in 2003 working as a sales assistant is a general manager sales today in the same organization after 19 years. Now, this is also an example on the other side. It is not something that person has come from somewhere outside the ecosystem. The only thing is the managing director or the entrepreneur, the business owner, has relied too much of trust in that person, and that person has been very consistent in his performance, and he has been always given a recognition for his work, because the focus of that employee or that team member has been so laser focused that that person doesn't do anything else, because the roles and responsibilities are pretty clear, and he is doing the same job for the last 19 years. It's a Japanese model, but I must tell you, it can work wonders in India also, and it is working wonders with most of the people, in certain sectors, of industry. Now, as you said, as you asked me, Arun, that what is the risk that if we empower people and they don't perform? I would say there is a risk, but then the risk containment has to be in the hands of the entrepreneur. He has to see that if he leaves, there are many entrepreneurs who hire people from their competitors. What about that? That's also another risk, issue for that competitor. But the idea is that if we are hiring somebody and we are empowering that person, it is very important that his stakeholding has to be in the organization. He should feel part of the organization. Like in corporates, we have ESOPs, we have incentives, we have shareholding in the organization. There are many corporates who have this culture. Why that? It is basically they want people to be part of the organization. But in SMEs, we always keep them aside. We always keep them outside the arena. We keep them outside the ambit, because the entrepreneurs mostly are not confident that they are going to retain in the organization for a long time. So the attrition rate today, Arun, is very high in SMEs. There are very rare chances that a good engineer is hired, a good professional is hired from the market or from the academic institutions and trained by the SMEs. On one side, there is an unemployment. On the other side, there are no jobs. So I think it's very contradicting. And it is only because of that particular person, the mindset of the entrepreneur, that he doesn't want to look at the strengths of the person. I come back to the same point again, that we have to trust, we have to empower, we have to educate, and we have to really embrace the employees and the teams and take them through this journey of growth along with the organization.
So Vinod, that was a great way to explain, how there are risks associated with empowerment or delegation, but not empowering and not delegating, I think, is a bigger risk. Because the benefits outweigh the risk any day.
Absolutely.
And another thing that we've talked about is that, it's also a mindset issue. Most of these small, medium enterprise owners do not engage with experts. They do not open up in terms of whatever challenges they are facing. In fact, in India, more than 95% of our micro, small, medium enterprises fall in the micro and small category, which is a very high number. So people are not growing because they are not open enough to these inputs. So how can we change the mindset when it comes to, opening up to new ideas, opening up to new suggestions, imbibing the best practices in terms of leadership and delegation? So can you share some of your insights on that?
Yeah, sure. You see, there has been a significant change from the last 20 years of my engagement with, MSME. When I say significant improvement, means that people have started changing their outlook to going to an expert and hiring an expert. Things are changing because entrepreneurs are now realizing that it's the world has become very competitive. They are not going to be same if they, as you said in the beginning, that they are not going to deliver the same thing, and expect the same results at the end. It is like they have started now changing, and there are a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, or established business owners who are looking for an expert help from outside, and they are changing their mindset. But when I say mindset, it is basically the perception of the entrepreneur. It is all about the perception management. It is all about how they are looking at the entire ecosystem of business. In my experience, all these entrepreneurs, when they engage with the growth story of their organization, they don't understand the professionalism of it, because you see, most of the people whom I know, whom I have worked with, the entrepreneurship has been a choice for them. It is not by chance. They have not got into the entrepreneurship by chance. It is a choice. Now, when it is a choice, then you have to make it as your lifestyle, because it's not a full-time or a part-time job. Now, while you are doing something in entrepreneurship, you have to be on your feet to really innovate, to really reinvent yourself every time. And the question which you asked me was that how they are going to improve it, and how they are going to empower the people, and how they are going to change this mindset. I would say we have to work on them. The experts have to work on them. There are many organizations who have taken a decision that we are going to help them. So I think we need to work on them. We need to be onto that journey. We need to be on that mission, that we have to make people aware. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to make all my efforts to reach out to most of the SMEs through my programs, through my interventions, where I tell them, okay, you can come in. And I urge all the experts and all the people who are in this business of coaching, consulting, training, that they have to keep working on it. And the day will come that this story is going to change. And today, in 20 years, I can tell you, Arun, there are many companies who have got beautiful and very inspiring success stories of their change management, because they have really taken it head on, because they have seen the top of the businesses growing by changing the mindset. And in India, I think the change is coming, and things are going to get better with the time.
So Vinod, how many entrepreneurs today or small medium enterprise owners are willing to invest in their growth, and what are the key things they look for when they engage with an expert?
So an entrepreneur, as a reactive entrepreneur, when he reacts to the problems most of the time, so I put him in the category of a struggler. A struggling entrepreneur, a struggling business owner is someone who reacts to the challenges and the problems. So he has to take this journey from being reactive to proactive, and then finally become an innovative entrepreneur. Now, the moment he becomes an innovative entrepreneur, he actually gets into that professional outset. He actually does everything very professionally. And when somebody does everything professionally, he doesn't do everything himself. He is there as an auditor. He is there as somebody who is a reviewer, who reviews the work which he has already delegated to the teams. So this particular position, I call this as the CEO, not the Chief Executive Officer, but as a Chief Enterprise Officer. The Chief Enterprise Officer is somebody at the top of the organization who actually takes the team along with him as a strategic head, as somebody who actually directs the organization, who actually drives the performance of the organization, what he wants to this organization to be. So this CEO, I call this a Chief Enterprise Officer, is somebody who is a professional CEO of the enterprise, of his own enterprise, and he does everything from outside. He is on the business, and he takes people from one place to the another and take them through the journey of growth. So this is what I have my own experience of dealing with the SME owners. I call them also as SMB owners, small medium business owners. But the moment he becomes a CEO of his own organization, everything gets into the professional way of working, and everything falls in place, in terms of growth and in terms of peak performance of that organization.
So thank you, Vinod. That was really helpful. So as we discussed today, for any entrepreneur to be successful, it is very important that they assume the role of a CEO, where they start delegating more and more and stop doing the mundane tasks which they are doing day on day basis. They look at or focus only on the strategic inputs that they need to provide to their people. You take any large corporation, whether it is Tata Sons, whether it is Mahindra's, whether it is Ambani's, they are running such large empires which are running into thousands of crores, but they are not doing day-to-day management of these companies. They have professional CEOs who they delegate these tasks to, and they review them every month or every quarter as the process may be. So even small medium entrepreneurs, if they want to fly, if they want to grow, they have to open their wings. They have to be willing to delegate. They need to be willing to empower. And finally, the risk of delegation is far less than the risk of not delegating. You cannot delegate enough. You have to make your people feel valuable. You have to empower them and engage them. So hope you enjoyed today's session. Thank you very much.